You might have a Tower of Babel in your bank account. Genesis chapter 11, everybody is traveling east to this place called Shinar, and they find a valley, and it was like, this looked like a real good place to settle. Then they get another bright idea. They're like, let's create a city. Let's build a tower that reaches all the way to heaven. Let's make a name for ourselves. That way, we don't have to get spread all through the earth. Now, God is overhearing this conversation, and he like, let me go down there and see what they're talking about. And it's not because he was interested in this construction project, and it's not because he was confused as to what they were doing. He knew exactly what they were doing. And I could just imagine God was like, didn't I give them clear instructions in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28? And did I not repeat those same instructions in Genesis chapter 9, verse 1? Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth. They was like, nah, we don't like that idea. Instead of doing that, we're going to build this tower. And I know you want us to spread out in the earth, but we just gonna gather up right here. We're gonna stay put. So the resources that God intended to flow and to fill the entire earth, they decided to hoard and to stack up in one location. And I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, but this is what you're doing with your savings account. You telling God you trust him with your finances, but you stacking every single dollar like your life depends on it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a difference between prudent saving and saving out of a scarcity mindset and wanting to be in control. What if something happens to me? I need to feel secure. Really, you just building your own version of safety because you don't really trust God's way of bringing increase, and his way is always multiplication and not accumulation. That is not stewarding, that is hoarding. And just like at the Tower of Babel, God will allow you to get confused about how money actually works, and you'll keep looking at that number in your bank account thinking that's your security. You'll start believing that lie that investing is too risky, I work too hard for my money. If I make this investment in my business, I'll drain my savings account. God will still bless me if I don't do nothing with it. But the reality is that seed that he gave you is rotting because you refuse to plant it. Money and wealth is a spiritual resource that God has given you to reach and impact the people that are tied to your assignment. If you think that the purpose of your money is just to stack it up, just so it makes you feel better, you have completely missed the mark. You remember what happened to the servant in the parable of talents that buried his master's money? His master called him a lazy and a wicked servant. And it's not because he went and splurged and spent all his master's money. It's because he didn't even try to multiply it and to increase it. The money in your bank account is not supposed to be a monument to your own accomplishment. It is supposed to be deployed strategically and intentionally to build the kingdom of God and to serve the people he's calling you to serve. You can't keep crying out to God, asking for blessings and a breakthrough when you are sitting on the tools and the resources that will bring that into fruition. The funniest part about this story is God still gets his way in the end, and he scatters them over the earth. But instead of them co-laboring and co-creating with God, God gives them over to their desire and need for control, and he disinherits them. Don't be like them. Stop hoarding what God is telling you to sow.